The Pride of Liverpool will come face-to-face with his American opponent in the co-main event of UFC 282 at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas next month. Paddy Pimblett has sent a scary message to Jared Gordon, and it came right after he'd revealed that he'd shed a whopping 50 pounds for his next fight. Want more on this? This video has got you covered. First up, Paddy's getting cocky. Paddy Pimblett has predicted that he'll add another knockout to his record when he goes against Jared Gordon. We'll see them squaring off on December 10th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Pimblett and Gordon will square off, and it's bound to be dramatic. Gordon, an 11-fight veteran of the UFC, is expected to be Pimblett's toughest opponent in the octagon to date. However, the famed UFC fighter has no worries and plans on knocking him out clean. Guys, this fight is going to be brutal. We saw Pimblett go on his YouTube channel and make pretty insulting digs at Jared a while back. He called him a crab and accused him of pitter-pattering his way to a win. But what he says afterward is what turned up the heat big time. He flat out said he's going to be knocking Jared out with one shot, and there'll definitely be no tiptoeing. Sounds like a fight, doesn't it? Make sure not to miss it. He also went on to add that he really respects Jared. We know it's hard to believe, but what can you do? It seems as though Paddy is only putting pressure on Jared and trying to appear unfazed, because there's certainly nothing personal going on here. But then we heard him calling Jared out and saying he simply isn't on his level when it comes to facing off in the octagon. Next, how's Pimblett looking? Some of the top MMA fighters in Europe are among the baddies' incredible 5-fight winning streak victims. After turning down a contract in 2016, he has gotten off to a flying start in the UFC, with all of his victories coming through stoppage. Since he's been in training camp for a few weeks, Pimblett is bursting with confidence ahead of his comeback. In fact, he's so sure Gordon will meet a similar end that he refuses to address the possibility that things could go sideways. He used the rear naked choke and a knockout choke to defeat Jordan Levitt and Luigi Vendramini in UFC competition alone. We'll see him returning to the octagon for the UFC's final major pay-per-view event of the year, and he has claimed that Gordon will be finished in the first round. The hype is real after this declaration. Paddy has also lost a total of 50 pounds to prepare for this fight and is looking in great shape at the moment. He did mention that he had difficulty locating sparring partners in the UK for this camp, but he was able to get some rounds in with Dana White's Contender Series alum Thomas Paull in London. Now let's weigh Paddy the Baddy. Although Paddy the Baddy Pimblett is a lot of fun to watch, is he actually a skilled fighter? Some MMA enthusiasts have their doubts, claiming that the UFC has been too easy on him by giving the Brit relatively simple opponents. If he defeats Jared Gordon this coming Saturday, he might get his first fight against a rated opponent in the UFC. He will, according to the odds, and we can only concur. Paddy is a skilled striker and a black belt in BJJ, making him a well-rounded fighter. Additionally, Gordon, who competed in the featherweight division up until last year, is smaller and weaker than him. Paddy also enjoys finishing fights quickly, as shown by the fact that he has won all 3 of his UFC matches inside the distance, while earning the Performance of the Night bonus. If you enjoyed watching Paddy the Baddy, check out some of Robbie Lawler's fights on YouTube, but just the ones from around mid-2010, when he was at his best. He won the UFC Welterweight Championship at that time, which he successfully defended twice before dropping it to Tyron Woodley in the summer of 2016. Here's what Paddy feels about getting bumped up. Paddy Pimblett is ecstatic with his new UFC 282 spot. After UFC light heavyweight champion Yitzhak Prochazka was compelled to withdraw from the main event matchup against Glover Teixeira, the upcoming pay-per-view underwent a major change. Due to the promotion of the co-headlining fight between Jan Blachowicz and Magomed Ankalaev, Pimblett versus Jared Gordon had to take the lead. According to Pimblett, he was already the main event for the people, and this was just more validation for him. He's claimed that most people are only coming to watch him anyway, and he feels bad for other fighters because all the attention will be on him. Since taking on the promotion over a year ago, Pimblett has attracted a lot of attention. In his 3 octagon appearances, the Baddy defeated Jordan Levitt, Kazula Vargas, and Luigi Vendramini. The Liverpudlian is hoping to remove the label of hype train by adding Gordon, a veteran, to his portfolio. Now here's his fight record versus Gordon's. Paddy the Baddy is well known known for his grappling skills. Pimblett has had 6 technical knockout wins in 22 fights. Despite the fact that this baddie is fresh to the UFC, he exudes a tremendous amount of confidence. It's probably because he's won each of his 3 UFC fights so far. Can Paddy the Baddie make it 4-0? There will be many shocks in this lightweight fight, which consists of 3 rounds, with victories over Luigi Vendramini, Rodrigo Vargas, and most recently Jordan Levitt this past July by submission in round 2. Paddy is entering UFC Las Vegas on a 3-fight winning streak. He's heavily favored to win with a 66% chance of doing so, and is now sitting at 200. Jared "Flash" Gordon has won 11 fights in the first round so far in his career, including 2 UFC contests. Paddy the Baddie is a novice UFC fighter compared to Flash. Gordon has a 4-1 record over his last 5 appearances. In this situation, Gordon's extensive UFC experience will set him apart from Paddy. Flash, who joined the UFC in 2017, has suffered defeats at the hands of top competitors Charles Oliveira and Carlos Diego Ferreira. Gordon's odds of winning are at 190, which gives him a mere 35% chance of winning. Up next, Paddy Pimblett sends a chilling warning to Jared Gordon. Paddy Pimblett hasn't missed a chance to be extremely menacing. The threats he is making should alert the police. This isn't an exaggeration at all. This comes after the guy lost 50 pounds in weight, and the way he is prepared for his next fight is praiseworthy. Since he's been in training camp for a few weeks, Pimblett is bursting with confidence and is convinced that Gordon will meet a devastating end upon his return. He was talking on his YouTube channel about this and didn't leave out any of his thoughts. The fighter didn't shy away from calling Jared Gordon a crab. Hopefully the crabs and Jared Gordon both don't take offense. He attempts to win by pitter-pattering. Paddy also said that he planned to use one shot to attempt to knock his opponent out completely. Man, he didn't just stop here. He was kind enough to call Jared Gordon a nice person, and also went on to say that he respects him, but as a fighter, he wouldn't spare him at all and would make sure that he leaves him dusted. Paddy continued his rant by saying that he'd take Jared's chin home with him. That's very concerning. Following up, what's the source of Paddy Pimblett's confidence? Paddy is beaming with confidence. It looks like he can't wait to get into the octagon with Jared Gordon. The guy is unstoppable and amped with bloodlust. Gordon will have an edge over him by fighting in front of his home crowd, but that doesn't seem to be bugging Paddy at all. In fact, he is convinced that this isn't going to be a problem for him at all, since the crowd won't be on Jared's side at all. That's right, he believes that his superior fighting style and wrestling skills combined with the jiu-jitsu training will help him grab everyone's support. Not only this, but Paddy is one of the best strikers in the game, and that makes him extremely dangerous. Paddy is coming in strong with the disses and plans to baffle Jared in his hometown when he finds out that is not on his side at all. He said, "He's a good fighter, but there's a level to this game." Now, this is a really big claim. Only time will tell whose side luck is on. Lastly, what does Jared Gordon think about Paddy? One could easily argue that one of Conor McGregor's early opponent's biggest errors was thinking he was more hype than reality. It's true that when he first appeared, he made wild claims that he would win the UFC championship quickly. Paddy Pimblett has recently assumed the role of the most touted fighter on the UFC roster, thanks to his outspoken demeanor and expanding fan base who enjoys cheering him on loudly. Gordon will not attempt to predict the outcome of his fight with Pimblett, but he will remain prepared for any scenario once the fighting begins on December 10th. He is ready to take him on, but at the same time, he's exercising as much wisdom as he can. Gordon acknowledges that he has never been very good at foreseeing how his fights would turn out. Therefore, he won't attempt to call his shot versus Pimblett before their real fight. But if he had to guess, he's sure he'll be able to do to Pimblett what he's done to so many of his previous rivals. That concludes our video for today. Tell us your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. See you in the next one.